picked up some tricks that you've learned on your way?
The title of my album this year is Song for Our Daughter. And it's based loosely around a Maya Angelou book called Letters to My Daughter, which was a collection of kind of essays of life lessons that she had accumulated over her life about how to conduct oneself and what to look out for, but not addressed to her actual daughter because she didn't, in fact, have a daughter. And neither do I, to be clear. So I thought that was a nice sentiment and something I related to. So that's why the album is called that. The artwork for the album was, the picture was done by a friend of mine, Justin Tyler Close, who I worked with on another album I did called Once I Was an Eagle. And he has a very, I'm not comfortable with having my photo taken. I never have been. Very common, I know, for lots of people. But he has a certain way of helping you relate to the camera in a way that other people, I've never worked with somebody who has that particular skill with somebody like me. And so the album cover was me lying on top of a man. And there was no hidden meaning to that. That was just a circumstantial picture, wearing the same outfit. And I guess that was slightly to highlight the use of the word our daughter rather than my. But that was it. There wasn't much more thought to it than that. If you're going to find a way into the album, I think Song for Our Daughter, the title track, is the main sentiment of the album. So I would point people in that direction. There are 11 songs on the album, and it's quite a short album. I've grown much fonder of shorter albums of late. I think as a consequence, or maybe in relation to my interest in albums from around 1969 to 1971, a lot of them came in at around 33 to 36 minutes. And that was obviously the era where vinyl was the only format, or one of the only formats. And so that vinyl dictated the length of the album. And obviously you can fit, I think it's up to 45 minutes on an album, on a vinyl. But lots of people did shorter albums. And I think I was interested in being concise on this album. I think I've made a couple of albums that are long and not concise. And that was a consideration of mine. I wanted to make the songs concise. I wanted to make the album concise. And I wanted to get the point across clearly. We released the album 4 months early, and it was so shrouded in a very tumultuous time, and what continued and continues to be a tumultuous time. So there was some anxiety about it, but when it was done, and it's so simple, really, you're just putting, and especially in lockdown, we were just literally putting music into the internet, essentially. Just releasing an album without a physical presence in the world, without literally my physical presence or the physical presence of the album, was quite a liberating thing. I'm not an album purist, and I think we're living in a really interesting time where the album is almost on its way out. It's not saying that things like this aren't brilliant to celebrate the art of album making, which is definitely still an art, but it's going to become, I think, a very different art, or a very localized art form. And I think the idea of releasing music in a different way, in a different length, different formats, is really liberating for musicians. So I'm excited about that.